part. My boss stole my Super Bowl tickets, which I received from a client after months of working overtime on a project. You should be grateful you have a job, he said. I acted dumb and said, enjoy the game. He had no idea how Monday would be fun. No, this was a cornered animal, trying to claw its way out. Denise cleared her throat. Evelyn, have a seat. I did. Robert leaned forward, fake concern dripping from his voice. Evelyn, I really hoped we wouldn't have to do this, but I need to bring up a very serious issue. I raised an eyebrow. Which is, he sighed dramatically. The firm has been reviewing some of your recent communications, and we have reason to believe you violated corporate confidentiality by discussing internal business matters with an external client. I blinked. Oh, this was the play. Denise glanced at me, then at Robert. Robert brought this concern to us this morning. Of course he did. He was trying to flip the narrative, trying to paint me as the problem so he could salvage his career. I tilted my head. And what specific confidential business matters are we talking about? Robert folded his hands on the table. The emails you sent regarding the Super Bowl tickets. That was an internal issue, Evelyn, and you took it directly to a client. I let out a small, disbelieving laugh. Right, so you're saying that a gift meant for me personally, which was then stolen, is now considered an internal business matter. Denise flinched at the word stolen. Robert's jaw twitched. I wouldn't call it stolen. I cut him off. Really? Because the client did, in front of everyone. Silence. I leaned back. This isn't about confidentiality. This is about you getting caught. And now you're throwing a tantrum because there were consequences. Denise let out a careful breath. Robert, I understand your concern, but after reviewing the situation, I don't see any actual policy violation on Evelyn's part. His head snapped toward her. Excuse me, she glanced down at her notes. The client was the original sender of the gift. He had the right to ask about it. Evelyn did not disclose private company strategy, financials, or trade secrets, only the status of something that was personally hers. Robert's face darkened. So that's it? You're just going to let her get away with? Denise straightened in her chair. Robert, let's be clear. You're the one under investigation, not Evelyn. The words hit him like a slap. He started, but Denise cut him off. The expense reports are being reviewed. The client has formally withdrawn their partnership with you. And now, after everything, you're trying to retaliate against an employee who was just promoted by the company. Robert had nothing left. Nothing to say, nothing to fight with. He had lost. Denise sighed, standing. Robert, I need you to leave the room. Evelyn, you're free to go. I gathered my things, not even looking at him as I stood and walked out. By the time I got back to my desk, an email had gone out. Effective immediately, Robert Fowler is no longer with the firm. We wish him the best in his future endeavors. I read it twice, just to be sure. And then, for the first time all day, I let myself smile. Robert was gone, and I had won. But the best part, this wasn't just a victory for me. It was a warning to every other arrogant, entitled boss out there. Never underestimate the people you think are beneath you. They just might be the ones to bring you down. The office was strangely quiet after Robert's abrupt departure. Oh, people were talking, whispers in the hallways, stolen glances in the break room, but no one dared to say anything out loud. The weight of what had just happened was too big. A senior partner had been taken down, in front of everyone, and not by another executive, not by another man in a suit. By me. I sat at my desk, rereading the official company-wide email announcing Robert's termination. His name was already scrubbed from the directory, his office had been locked, his belongings already packed by HR. It was like he had never existed. That should have been enough, but there was still one more thing to do. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to my client's number. He picked up on the first ring. Evelyn, he said, amusement laced in his voice. I assume you've heard the news. I have, I said, keeping my tone light. Figured I owed you a thank you. He laughed. Oh, don't thank me. Robert did this to himself. You just gave him the rope. I smirked. Well, I appreciate you handling things so publicly. There was a pause, and when he spoke again, his tone was carefully measured. Tell me something, Evelyn. Are you happy staying where you are? That gave me pause. What do you mean? Well, let's look at the facts, he said casually. You were the one actually doing the work. You were the one who built this account. The firm promoted you because they had to, not because they wanted to. And Robert's departure, that was your doing. I sat back in my chair, absorbing his words. I'm going to be honest with you, he continued. I don't like your firm. I tolerated it because I liked working with you. I blinked. Oh, a chuckle. Oh, he repeated, amused. So let me make this simple. I want you to come work for me. My heart skipped. You've already proven yourself, he said smoothly. You're sharp, strategic, and you don't let people walk all over you. That's exactly the kind of person I want leading my business strategy team. And of course, he let the silence stretch. I'll double whatever your firm is paying you. I nearly dropped my phone. Double, not a small raise, not a slight bump. Double my salary, I swallowed. That's a big offer, he chuckled. It is, and it's only fair. I hesitated. This was happening too fast. I had just gotten one promotion. Was I really about to throw it away? And then I thought about it. I thought about the years I spent being undervalued at this firm, about the times my ideas were taken and repackaged by men like Robert, about how the only reason I had been promoted was because a scandal forced their hand. Did I really owe them anything? No, I didn't. A slow smile spread across my face. Send me the offer, I said. I think I'm ready for something better. By the next morning, my resignation letter was printed and signed. I walked through the office, my head held high, ignoring the surprised whispers and the not-so-subtle looks of admiration. Denise from HR looked genuinely surprised when I handed her the letter. "You're leaving?" she asked, wide-eyed. I nodded. Got an offer I couldn't refuse. She glanced at the paperwork, then let out a low whistle when she saw the salary. "Damn," she muttered. "Well, I can't blame you," I smiled. It was time. As I packed up my things, a few coworkers stopped by to congratulate me. Some were shocked, others weren't surprised at all. And then, just as I was about to leave, I got one last message, a text from an unknown number. "Robert Fowler, enjoy your little victory. You just got lucky." I stared at the words for a long second before typing back, "Me? Luck had nothing to do with it." And with that, I walked out for the last time. A year later, I stood in my corner office, overlooking the city skyline. My name was on the door, my team respected me. My salary was more than I had ever imagined. And best of all, I was finally working for people who valued me. I scrolled through my phone and saw an industry news alert. Former executive Robert Fowler files lawsuit against former firm, claims wrongful termination. I laughed. He was still trying to fight a battle that was already lost. I placed my phone down, leaning back in my chair. Robert had spent years stealing credit, walking over people, taking what wasn't his. And in the end, he lost everything. I, on the other hand, had gained everything. And that, right there, that was the sweetest revenge of all.